Hello again and welcome back. Long time no see. So today we are working on a A20s Samsung charging port. The problem was that we had to change the port on the charging flags because we had nowhere to find. We couldn't find anywhere the charging flags itself. So we start by heating up the charging port and we remove it. Then we apply some flux, we apply low melt or leaded solder, whatever you have on hand, to lower the soldering temperature of the new port. Or you can wick it directly, it doesn't matter that much on charging ports, it only matters on the ICs, on the QFP ICs, or especially on BJs. Here we tin the pads with new leaded solder and we wick off. Now we should we clean up the board. You always have to clean up the burnt up flux, because if you don't, then the solder joints are not gonna be clean. Here we test fit the new port. It fits pretty good. You have to be very careful on A20s, especially because the pins, the pitch between the pins, the distance between the pins is extremely small, and you can create bridges very easily. Here we start by resoldering the charging port, sorry, and I don't know why I started soldering the pins first, but I guess because of the small pitch between the pins, the best way to align them is to solder a few pins directly, and then you know for sure that they are aligned, because it's extremely small distance between them. And as you can see here, I tried with a big iron, but it just doesn't wanna come off. The bridges keep on getting worse and worse. So I decided to take up the smaller tip and try to do each one individually, and that worked way better. But even so, you have to be very careful not to make bridges on this type of port. And usually when you do, you can't really put flux and just drag the solder around to compensate with the lack of solder from other pins, and that way you end up losing it on the way. You actually have to wick it off, because it's just sticking to the next pin like instantly, as you can see here. But with a little bit of practice and especially patience, it's not a job that it can be done. It's just a little bit more annoying than the other charging ports. I don't really like this type of design, because if you have water damage, you can mess up the phone pretty bad. If you have, for example, salty water going in, there's like zero chances that this port can survive, or maybe even the board can get damaged, because the pitch between the pins is so small. Here we solder the posts, the structural posts, the big legs. You don't need to put too much solder on them, because then it's gonna interfere with the frame, and that's not something that you want, because then you have to wick it off and stuff like that. Here we start to clean up the board with IPA. Usually if the flux is way too sticky, you can heat up the board a little bit, like 100 degrees, or with a hair dryer or something, and the flux is gonna come off way easier. Here, as you can see, each pin is soldered individually, and there's no bridges, and we have to look around on the board when we do this, because as you can see here in a second, there's a lot of solder balls around the microphone from when we heated up the board to desolder the port. Eventually it worked. It wasn't a problem, but you have to be very careful and have that in the back of your head that the microphone could get damaged.
What we do here is go back.
Here we test up the phone and it ended up being a successful repair, and especially with the microphone it didn't got damaged or desoldered, because those are a pre-pain to redo. But it was a successful repair and we managed to pull it off. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and to get notified when we upload new videos. Turn on the bell icon and see you on the next one.